Hello everyone. So in today's film I want to create a look that's quite glamorous, quite full on, but something that's quite relevant to sort of looks that I have created before. Something with lots of orange and yellow and gold, but I might go for a little bit of pink as well. But I really feel like doing something that's quite transformative, something that changes my current state drastically. And to all of you that kindly subscribed to my newsletter to hear information about my masterclass and meet and greet here in London, you were the first to receive all information 2 days ago, but I shall now be sharing the event details. I shall be hosting a masterclass and meet and greet here in London on the 31st of March, so not long, not far away. I shall be leaving the applicable link within the description of this film, where you can find out all the details about my masterclass and meet and greet, as well as time, tickets, location, all of that. And I am very much looking forward to it, and I am very excited. So to begin the look, I have almost bare skin. I began with freshly shaven skin, and I first of all applied one of my most reliable moisturizers, which is the Embryolisse La Cream Concentrate, and as a primer I took some of Chanel's La Blanc. Now before I go in with foundation, I'm going to colour correct my dark circles underneath my eye, and I'm applying Kryolan's Dermacolor Cream in the shade D1W on a Charles Fox 8146405 brush. A lot of you have asked me to do a tutorial on how to colour correct and hide dark circles. Fortunately, I have produced a film in the past on how to colour correct and conceal under eye discoloration, and I shall leave the applicable link to that film within the description of this film. It may seem a little bit strange that I'm colour correcting before applying foundation. The problem I find that even if I went in with foundation and applied the colour corrector on top, you can of course see the peachiness of the colour corrector. And if I do not apply it before, even though the foundation for which that I'm going to use is full coverage, there's always a slight greyness under the eyes and it can make the makeup look quite dirty. And I always take a little bit of that shade through the eyebrows as well, as my eyebrows are a little bit difficult to conceal. Then I'm taking an e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush and I'm just buffing those edges, just to ensure seamlessness. And as you can see, that just brightens the face ever so slightly. Today I'm going to be mixing two foundations to achieve the applicable shade for my skin tone. It's also a classic favourite of mine. To date, it has never failed me, this method. And today I'm going to be using a combination of the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade 1C1 Shell, mixed with Illamasqua Skin Base in the shade 01, which as you can see, of course, is a pure white. The Estee Lauder colour is far too dark for my skin tone, but the foundation formulation is marvellous, so I just lighten it up with the white. Now it is a bit of a mask, this foundation, but I love the coverage it gives. And I have a very particular way of applying foundation. I just slap it on and hope for the best. It's absolutely marvellous, this foundation. It's like a mask. One can hide the most disreputable characteristics about oneself. And I always take it down the neck slightly as well. One must have a flawless neck. And I'm applying it on a Tina Earnshaw No. 9 brush, which is a marvellous little chap. Now I'm taking an Urban Decay optical blurring brush, and I'm just stippling that. This technique almost works in the same way for which that a beauty blender does, but I find when blending you can actually be a little bit more vigorous with a brush. With the foundation now applied, I'm now going to go in and thoroughly set the foundation in place so that we don't have anything sliding around the place like Mount St. Helens. To set the foundation, I'm going to be using Kryolan's translucent powder in the shade TL3. And I'm just stippling on the powder with a Real Techniques blusher brush. Now it is quite a lot of makeup, but the look demands. Now I'm going to go in and draw on eyebrows, and to do so I shall be using Inglot's powder eyeshadows in the shade 349 and 348. 349 just to draw on the stencil, and 348 to create texture and small hair-like strokes. I'm beginning to draw them on with a Space NK liner brush. And with the stencil lightly drawn in, then I'm taking the 348 colour with the same brush and using its slant just to draw in artificial-like hairs. Thus just gives texture and illusion to the brow. With the brows now complete, I'm now going to take some of Illamasqua's powder eyeshadow in the shade Sister. It may appear slightly more chrome yellow on camera, but it is actually more of a warm yellow. And I'm going to be using this as our transition colour. I'm applying that through the socket first of all, on a MAC 217. And I am indeed taking it quite far into the inner corner, but just buffing it through slowly. And then I'm just going to start lifting it out just ever so slightly, as I want to create a really uplifting winged eye today. I'm just taking a tiny bit of that colour on a Zova 228 brush and just blending it through the crease, bringing it upward and outward just ever so slightly. And then taking quite a chunk and then pulling it from the socket onto the upper lash line. And just start to build the colour up. I'm just going back in and blending with my 228 brush, just being really, really light with the brush almost barely any pressure and barely any product on the brush, but just buffing it over so that we create a really seamless blend. I'm just going back in and building up colour intensity in the crease. And then just blurring the edges of what we have just applied. And just really building the colour up on both eyes. And then going back in and softening everything through. The great thing about yellows and oranges and reds, bronzes and golds is that they contrast with blue eyes. So it does tend to make my natural eye colour really vibrant. And I am aware that it is very conventional to use contrasting tones against your natural eye colour. However, I would agree that contrasting tones do tend to be most flattering. And I'm just taking a very faint amount of that yellow underneath the eye, not too far in, but just to create a little bit of shadow. And I'm applying that with a Screen Face 1.8 Contour Sable, and then blending the edges of that with the Charles Fox 8146031 brush. And I'm actually going to just build it up just ever so slightly, a little bit more. I've changed my mind a little. I think I'll make it a little stronger and connect the two round like so. Always connect the two round. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of that yellow shade into the inner corner just to build some definition. But applying it lightly the further into the inner corner I go. Now I'm going to apply some of Illamasqua's powder eyeshadow in the shade Vapor, which is this absolutely beautiful orange shade. And I'm applying that on the same MAC 217 for which that I used earlier to apply the sister colour, as I want them to merge quite well together. And I'm only really using this orange to strengthen the socket, but more at the outer corner. So I'm not going to take it all the way into the inner socket on the upper part of the eye. I'm going to keep it more towards the outside, but keep it all quite seamless. Yellow and orange, of course, are beautiful colours. Orange on top of yellow, it just melts into it beautifully so. And then going back in with our 228 from before, and just buffing any harshness out of the eye, and then packing on the orange at the outer corner. And of course it depends on the formulation of the eyeshadow for which that you are using, but you may have to go in and buff a colour on and then stipple colour on top of it, packing the colour on to create intensity. So by buffing the product in gently, you create almost a base to then go in and intensify the colour. I'm going to just keep on blending just to ensure that everything is seamless. So I've completed adding some of that orange to the eye, and I was going to go in with either a bright gold or a metallic shade, but I tried a few on and I thought, I don't really like the way these are looking. I think they're flattening the look slightly because they appeared slightly darker than the orange that I was going to apply, and I wanted something that was brighter. So I'm going to be going in with a neon eyeshadow, and this one is by Stargazer, and it is their pressed powder in the shade Orange. As you might be able to see, I've tried on a little bit of it already. But before I go in and apply it, neons tend to work better when applied over white or a white cream product. So today I'm going to apply some of Kryon's Dermacolor Cream Concealer in the shade White. This will just act as our base first of all before we go in and press the neon eyeshadow on top. And I'm actually going to give it quite a smooth shape, but I'm going to take it right up to the socket where we applied our orange colour. And I'm just applying that to the eye with the MAC 231. Then I'm just pressing on the neon orange with the MAC 239. So that's the neon shade now applied. It actually makes the orange that we applied through the socket seem almost quite dull, even though a moment ago it seemed very vibrant. And I'm going to take a little bit of our orange shade from before and just blend it through the socket, just softening the edges, and also just bringing it onto the orange for which we've applied, just blending it over just ever so slightly. And now with that applied, I'm just adding a little bit of our bright yellow from before, that sister colour, and just applying it to the inner corner just to merge everything all together. Now the only thing with this neon eyeshadow is that it's more for effect. The actual formulation is not particularly marvellous, as it's gone a little bit patchy, but we really only wanted that for effect. Now I'm going to line the eyes with some of Inglot's AMC Gel Liner in the shade 77. And I'm applying that just to the lower waterline first of all. I'm going to create an inward flick and wing it out slightly. So I've gone in and drawn a very black graphic cat liner on top and bottom, inner corner and outer corner. I then curled my eyelashes with some of Inglot's eyelash curlers. For mascara, I used the Balm's What's Your Type. Then I applied a set of these eyelashes. I shall leave the applicable link within the description of this film for where I got these. Because they are from an eBay seller, I do tend to favour towards using much more inexpensive eyelashes, as I only use them once. So I treat them very much as a disposable. And for that matter alone, I think cheaper eyelashes are a lot more economical and a lot more functional. Moving on to contour. Taking a combination of Inglot's eyeshadows in the shade 342 and 349 and sculpting the cheekbone with them in very light motions. with a Wayne Goss number 2 brush. I'm just buffing that very lightly. This brush is very soft hair. Even though I'm not favourable to buffing over set foundation, because of the nature of this brush, it is so very soft. You can actually buff over the set foundation for which you've applied quite easily. Now for blusher, I want to use something that's soft and slightly faint, as the eyes are quite vibrant and quite strong and full on. So I shall be taking Illamasqua's powder blusher in the shade Katie, which is this absolutely beautiful pastel pink colour. Very suitable on the very fairest of skin tones. And I'm just taking that on the same brush, just very lightly and faintly warming up that area. And to brighten underneath the eyes, I'm going to take some of MAC Cosmetics Studio Fix Powder Foundation in the shade Shivering White, which of course is a pure white. I'm just going to use the same brush just to brighten underneath the eyes. Not applying a lot of this product, just enough just to lift the shade. I don't usually like to apply additional powder, especially highlighting powder underneath the eyes, as it just makes them look really dry. So I'm going to go in and line my lips first of all with some of Illamasqua's lip pencil in the shade Assert, which is this absolutely beautiful deep pink colour. And I'm just lining the lips fully first of all. I'm going to go in with a dark pink actually first of all, then a bright pink on top. And the first pink I'm using is Girl About Town by MAC Cosmetics, one of my all-time favourites, very blue-based pink. Pink to make the boys wink, as the old saying goes. Then I'm going to add a little bit of Illamasqua's Eurodice just to the centre, just to brighten it up. And then on top of that, I'm just going to dab on some of Illamasqua's lipstick in the shade Live. It's considerably brighter than MAC Cosmetics Saint Germain, but I want to keep it predominantly in the centre of the lips, so I'm just going to blend it in. Then I'm taking some lavatory roll I'm just blotting those lips. Now for highlighter, I think a purple sheen is sacrosanct. I think I'm going to go in with a purple sheen. So today, I'm going to use one of the Kryolan Glamour Sparks in the shade Purple. And I'm applying that on an Inglot 4SS brush. Now it's a loose pigment that, and it's quite sheer. Adds the most beautiful sheen, however. I'm going to take the shade Blue Moon from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild palette. I'm applying that to the cheekbones. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of the blue ice and apply that on top. A little bit of it on the nose and across the cheekbone. So that more or less completes the look. I'm actually just about to dash out and I haven't had the time to do my hair all day. I'm running very, very late, but when in doubt, chuck a hat on, especially if you have a couture hat. Just throw it on anything, it makes everything look marvellous. The look itself is of course very transformative. On the very basis of using neon colours alone, definitely transforms one's appearance. Even though I do look and feel quite overdone, it's a lot of fun to work with these neon shades. Sometimes neon colours can be a little bit testing as the formulas can be quite difficult to work with. I will be going ahead with my masterclass and meet and greet on the 31st of March 2018. Not that long away, it's very, very soon. I am indeed very excited. The event shall be 4 hours long, there'll be a slight introduction. I will be doing a live tutorial. I've been working on a model, talking you through all the products and the steps and the techniques for which that I use. Of course, sharing my own secrets, sharing all my magic. And after that, I will be doing a questions and answers session, so you're able to ask me any of the questions for which that you have. And after that, I will be doing my meet and greet, which will be an opportunity to meet some of you. So I am super excited. 31st of March, I shall leave the applicable link to where you can get tickets with all the information about the location, all of that in the description of this film. The location will be Arch 406 Long Street, and the postcode is E28HG, and it will be in London. The nearest overground station is Hoxton, and the nearest underground station is Old Street, Northern Line. Of course, all the information will be in the description of this film with the links. But I have had a lot of fun creating this look for you here today. I love working with colours. I think it's a new year. Summer and spring is approaching. Even though I do not love the sunshine so much, I am very excited to be working with new tones, new colours. And it's a new year, there's new things happening. And I know that there'll be many of you who are sad that you are unable to attend the masterclass here in London. Do not fear, in future I am planning to do some in the United States, possibly in New York and Los Angeles. I hope that you found today's film to be either interesting, useful, helpful or beneficial. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and of course, take care. Bye!